It seems the good old end user license agreement didn't get her little hands into one secret sauce recipe, but two secret sauce recipes. She's gotten buffed in a couple of ways. We're gonna be tackling those, and they're pretty great buffs. Now, the first change, a little bit older. It's been around for a little bit longer, but now it's super confirmed to be so far in the build as we are talking about it right now. This is a change to her second ascension. This is very integral. This is a big part of her kit. This is gonna influence how strong her Grimheart stacks are, and that mechanic is in general, as well as her first ascension that she gets. So it used to be this effect. It used to be Eula's normal attacks, when they crit, they reduce your E's cooldown by 0.3 seconds. This can occur every 0.1 seconds. So your cooldown on your E is already 4 seconds or 10 seconds based on whether you use the press or the hold version, as we saw in the patch live stream. What this function does do, though, each stack gives you some damage interruption, so you're going to be more tanky as far as getting knocked around. It's not going to really make you tankier, but it is going to make you tanky as far as getting knocked around in that regard. But it also does give you defense % increase as well per stack. Now, this stacks up to 2 times, and when you hold E, kind of like you do with a Razor, where you have a very similar combat style as him with her E, you will consume both those stacks, and you will hit everyone around you for some damage, but also, more importantly, minus 25% physical and cryo resistance. This is a huge thing because that Q has a 10-second cooldown. But the change here to her ascension here now is after you use her elemental burst, it resets the cooldown on your E and immediately gives you 1 stack of Grimheart. So this is a huge deal because you're gonna be using less of the presses, more of the holds, but also can you reset that hold. So think about this real quick. You will log in, you're ready to go, you hit E, you Q, right? And then you hold E, good to go. Everyone's got minus 25% cryo resist, everyone's got minus 25% physical resist, and you got that Grimheart stack right away, and you're ready to go there. You also can do it another way, right? Maybe it's in the middle of the battle. You've E'd, you already have your 2 stacks, and so you Q, and then you ult, and it resets your E, and then it gives you a stack of Grimheart, and then you E again. So now you have the full effects of the defense % up, so you're more tanky, as well as you have that damage resistance interruption rate. That's awesome. Everything has a minus 25% physical and cryo resist down, and your Q is getting ready to rock and roll, people. On top of that, that is going to be an insane thing. This also influences how strong her elemental skill is with the first ascension here, Rolling Rhyme. When you consume 2 stacks of Grimheart with the hold mode, you get like a mini elemental burst Starfall sword as well that does half the damage as your normal Lightfall sword does. So that's going to be awesome, super strong, because you can get in there with this new A4. That's a lot of free damage, a lot more stacks coming out, super easy. Beforehand, the whole like reduce the cooldown by 0.3 seconds really wasn't really all that useful in my opinion, guys. This one though, you can actually combo out with it, and it makes it way more strong, especially in the mid or even early stages of the different battles that you're doing, maybe in the Abyss or whatever random event comes out. But this is going to be a huge one there. Get those stacks up, consume those stacks, and get those stacks right back up again. That is fantastic. Now, this other one is also really big, and it's just straight damage multiplier buffs. This is for her normal attacks, for elemental burst damage as well. All parts of her elemental burst damage. So if you don't know about her elemental burst and how this works, her elemental burst, it has 2 parts damage. It has a tiny little bit of cryo damage, right? At max level, it's like 442%. Sounds like a lot. That's where the vast minority of the damage comes from, though. Then what happens, you get the Lightfall sword, and this is 725% base now instead of 697. And it's not cryo damage, it's physical damage. But on top of that, there's a stacking mechanic with Eula. So while you activate your Q, you have 7 seconds to hit the enemy as many times as possible, because what you're going to do here is with that Q following you around, the little sword, it's going to keep track of how many times you hit opponents. You can get up to 30 hits off to get 30 stacks. You can only attack so fast in this game. You can get a stack every 0.1 seconds, but you can't really attack every 0.1 seconds. So what you're going to be doing here is going to be trying to maximize those stacks. Maybe get like 10, 15, 20. Maybe get some attack speed in your set somewhere. Maybe get some attack speed in your weapons or in your party members. Get those stacks up to 15, 20. And what you're going to do now is this mod has gotten buffed up as well. So every stack you get increases the damage by a separate mod by 148%. 148% mod per stack. So if you get 10 stacks, that's an additional, 1,480% mod on top of that 725% base. That's all physical, and then you have that little bit of 400% cryo damage. That got buffed up as well. But on top of that, her normal attack strings got buffed up a ton as well. So it used to be first hit 149%. It is now 177. Then the second hit was 159. Now it's 184. Then it was 90% times 2. Now it's 121% times 2, which is a massive increase because that is a phenomenal. That's like a 32%, 31% increase per hit there. So 62% overall. That's a massive. 4 hit went from 213 to 222, and then the 5 hit went from double attack 117% mod up to 142%. So also a phenomenally high multiplier increase. That's anywhere from 20 to 15% higher multiplier than before, whereas her elemental burst is 17 to 19% higher. But keep in mind, you get the extra stacks. This buff on your elemental burst is going to help you out that much more, because it used to be 127% per stack. Now it's 148% per stack. So that's an extra 21% mod per stack. If you get 10 stacks, it's a 210% mod increase on that part of your elemental burst, not to mention the other parts, I forget, that also got buffed up and is ready to rock and roll. Now, the other thing to talk about this with her normal attack mods getting increased here is the mods aren't everything in this game, as you may know. Mods are not everything in Genshin Impact. What also you need to take account is your attack speed, your swing speed. This is where you get, they either call it like DPS percent, or you get motion values is really determined. It's just it's time versus percent. It's basically DPS, but it's your raw mod percent per second, which is where you get the motion values. Also used mostly in like games like Monster Hunter or different fighting games and things of that nature. So this is also very, very relevant because while Eula isn't the fastest attacking character in the game, you can see that she does have a pretty decent swing speed. It's not the fastest in the game. It's still slower than like an ulted Razor, but she has much higher multiplier percentages. And I want to talk about this real quick. While it's not finalized, we're not going to show all the motion values right now because I can't go and make sure it's going to stay the same thing that we saw during the live stream. But keep in mind, she's already pretty fast. She has really high mods. And you know what? Oh, wow, crazy. They're putting a claymore on a banner coming out pretty soon that gives you attack speed percent. Oh man, okay, seems pretty good. So she's not the craziest, but she's going to scale really well with attack speed as your main carry as well. That sword also gives you attack percent physical damage and an attack percent and attack speed percent buff on a 20-second cooldown, which, what do you know, that matches the cooldown on her elemental burst. Wild. Seems a little bit like they kind of planned that out there. I'm not too sure about that, but it seems like that's what they're doing. So there's a lot of cool potential in here for a main carry with Eula. Of these buffs really doing some justice here, right? She has physical damage. You can't do all the cool like melt and vaporize stuff, but she's going to be out there. She's going to have a playstyle. She's going to be like a tanky Razor, and that team's comp is going to be very, very nasty. Mark my words. You have Zhongli, you have Fischl or Lisa, and then you have our good girl Eula here. She gets defense percent up from these Grimheart stacks. She gets interruption rate up from the Grimheart stacks. She has her own physical in cryo reduction. Zhongli has this giant shield that's going to get even better because you can get free DPS or defense percent from her Grimheart stacks. 20% additional cryo as well as physical resist down right there. So between the two of them, you're already at 45 cryo in physical resist down. And you have your superconductor, right? Fischl in there, free damage. It's going to give you 40% more physical down. So even on these high tanky, like 70% phys res monsters, you're going to drop them into the negatives anyway. So you're going to be good against pretty much anything not named a shielded enemy out there. And then you have your lost slot there to kind of do whatever it is that you want, right? You want to, you know, freeze and shatter things over and over and over, meme on people. You can put Xing Shou in there as well. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with a team composition quite like that one. I'm looking forward to playing around with Eula as well. If you guys want to see us probably pull for her, definitely pull for her. We should be able to get her pretty easy. I believe in the heart of the cards, guys. Check out the Twitch stream. Make sure you want to come back here for more Genshin Impact content. Make sure you hit that sub-areno button. It said sub-areno. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Eula do some cool stuff in the future with the right team compositions against a wide variety of monsters out there. Let me know down in the comment section below what you found the most interesting from the buffs here. And don't forget, she's in that new 1.5 set that's coming out as well, the new physical set that is also going to get a slight buff here from that Ascension 4 talent, because it's going to be easier to keep your stacks up, because every time you use your elemental burst, free stacks for you as well. So that's going to help out a ton there for you guys. But let me know down in the comment section there if you guys want to see us pull for Eula. Check out the Twitch stream. That'll be, you know, end of 1.5 or whatever, near the end of it, because she's the second banner. Go figure. And I'll see you guys in the next ones. Take care.